My little funny story of that is that I used to go around to people and always say that if I wasn't published before I was 30, then I was a failure. So a little bit hardcore, but it played out well because I actually ended up signing my book deal, which was for the 2 books when I was 15.
Eilís Barrett, here we are in beautiful rainy Galway, standing in a forest, as you do. Listen, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Eilís Barrett. I'm from Galway. I am a published author. I was published when I was 16 first, and then when I was 18 again. And now I'm working coffee.
I mean, becoming a published author at such a young age has to be a huge accomplishment. Well, it is a huge accomplishment. So tell us about you and writing. Where did it all begin and why?
I kind of started writing when my friends, when I was very little, just weren't willing to play out my little stories in my head anymore. I always told stories to myself. And then I started writing really young, 10, 11, 12. And then it wasn't until I was 12 that I was like, this is definitely what I want to do. I like to focus on kind of big world things. So the 2 books I have published now are sci-fi, dystopian, and that kind of realm. They're YA, so they're aimed at kind of teen readers, but they appeal to a large audience. I have readers from kind of all demographics. So anything that's high action, adventure stuff, that's really what I'm into.
So far in this series, we've talked to a number of different people from different backgrounds and different types of schooling, but your type of schooling is different again because it wasn't a Leaving Cert course for you. So tell us about your education. Yeah,
so I was homeschooled. So I actually never attended any kind of formal school. I didn't sit my junior or Leaving Cert, and the way that we structured it was really kind of free form. It was really focused on what we were interested in. So anything that we took an interest in was facilitated. So I had a huge interest in reading from a really young age, and I just read voraciously my entire life. So I really got to focus then on writing once I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I spent a lot of time on it. I was quite structured. That's just the way that I work best. So I had deadlines for myself from when I was 12, and word counts, and had everything kind of set out. And the type of education that I had really suited that because it let me kind of control how I spent my time and my energy, and really let me dedicate myself in a way that I don't think I would have had the energy for if I was, in traditional schooling.
If ever there was a perfect example of the advantages of homeschooling, you're it. I mean, you were interested in reading and writing, you're now a published author. My question for you is, why do you think homeschooling isn't more common and popular in Ireland?
I think a lot of people kind of compare where we are now with homeschooling in Ireland to the way the States was 30 years ago. It's just really not mainstream yet because people haven't seen enough, I think, examples of it and examples of it working out. And of course, everybody wants what's best for their kid and doesn't want to kind of throw them out into this risky thing. It really just worked for us because my mom was quite in tune with us and the way that we learned, and she really just wanted us to be able to follow our passions.
And finally, of course, an education, but a different education in your homeschooling. What would be, looking back now, Eilís, what would be the most practical advice you could give to young people now in whatever form of schooling they're in Ireland?
I guess just find what motivates you, and don't work within somebody else's structure just because that's what you're told to do. I think when you find a way that you learn or you work best and really dedicate yourself to that, you can do a lot more than you maybe think you're capable of once you really commit to that. I found that was something that homeschooling taught me, having to be quite self-motivated.